Still making adjustments, just bear with me for a second. We'll be getting started in just a minute, so we'll continue to visit with each other.
Is that one Guam minute?
1 Guam minute, that's correct.
2 more minutes.
We're all getting used to doing events outdoors, you know. Okay, half a day and good morning, everybody. It is so great to see you all in person. My name is Jonas Macapenlak. I'm the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer here at the University of Guam, and it is my pleasure to serve as your MC for this morning's ceremony. First, I'd like to introduce some of our special guests joining us this morning, beginning first with the 11th President of the University of Guam, Dr. Thomas Price. We also have joining us Dr. Lawrence Camacho, the Dean of Enrollment Management and Student Success. And of course, our Triton Athletics Director So once again, thank you for joining us for the 2020 Triton Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I am so glad that you're here, and without further ado, we will get started with our ceremony. So I'd like to welcome to the stage for his welcoming remarks, the President of the University of Guam, Dr. Thomas Price.
It's a half a day. Delighted to have everybody here for this. Sorry, it's limited and outdoors, but we're delighted to have face-to-face activity. We're looking forward to the possibility of having games continue. We did launch women's rugby, thanks to the AD, Doug Palmer, for getting that started. So I think after this pandemic experience, we'll be more excited about in-person things than we've ever been before. So I look forward to that. Seeing you again at events here at the university. The Athletics Hall of Fame was instituted by our AD, and we've been really pleased to be able to highlight the importance of athletics to the mission of the University of Guam, which, as you might remember, is to Descubre, set to enlighten, to discover, and to serve. And I think one of the characteristics of the American style of university is the emphasis on sports and competition. That's not typical in other countries' universities. That's something that's sort of characteristic about the American style. And I think we discover a lot about ourselves by team and activity and competition, not just leadership, but also how human beings interact, what motivates them, what success looks like, how to deal with defeat and setbacks, and so on. So I think it's really important on levels that we might not fully appreciate. It's not merely a side entertainment to an academic goal. It's really central to the university mission to develop people, help them be enlightened, help them to discover, and help them to learn how to serve. And so we're delighted to have this opportunity to highlight some great athletes from our past and the contributions that you're making to encouraging others to compete. I emphasize in our context in Guam, it's really important to have players and willing to play and to practice and to compete, because we need other people in order to play. And so, on the mainland where there are lots of other people, it's not as obvious a requirement that you really have to turn out. We need people to compete and to participate so we can have the games and have the leagues and have the competition. So congratulations to our inductees. We're sorry it took a year to get you honored, but we're really delighted to honor you today. And we look forward to having you involved in lots of different ways in your alma mater. So, Viva UOG!
Viva!
Thank you, Mr. President. Now I'd like to call to the stage Doug Palmer, our Triton Athletics Director.
I'm I'm getting old. I just turned 61 last week. So.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm a very all right. But after today, we'll have 5 Hall of Fame classes and 37 Hall of Famers in our Hall of Fame. And the real special moment of the day is when you guys go over and see our Hall of Fame room. I never thought we would have such a nice Hall of Fame room. We would actually thank Martin as the willow over here. I came up with the idea. He's the one who designed it. He's the one who made sure it got done. So when you see the Hall of Fame room, you're going to be really impressed with the University of Guam's Athletic Hall of Fame. And I thought back in 2019, again, another Martin invention, when we did the video for the class of 2019, they didn't get a live event. We basically had to bring them in. They could give their little talk on a video, and we did about a 30-minute video for that class. But I said at the end of that, we'll never have to do something like this again. But now we're outside under a tent. But at least the weather is cooperating with us. But it has been a joy for me to come here and help start athletics. Women's rugby the past couple of weekends was a very nice event. And the other folks who were not UOG folks were going, wow, this was a great job. Can you do this again? So same thing for basketball. Everybody's still, we got 6 teams for men and 6 teams for women that's been waiting a year to play. So hopefully we're going to get to play in January. But we're trying baseball. Like I said, we just hired another baseball coach. We're trying everything we can do to get baseball going again here. Twice we've tried, and we've only been able to get about 8 players. Now hopefully we can get up to that 13, 14, 15 number that we think we can actually have a team and play. Because I think baseball could be a cornerstone sport here. So, but we're going to try other things. I know some of you guys are football players. Well, someday we may be able to start football, but it's not anytime soon. We're going to have to definitely get some more money for those types of things. But like I said, I'm just very happy to have this event, see people here live. You guys are going to be able to tell a little bit about what you think about the sports here at UOG back when you played. We got Terry Stotts, and part of the reason Terry came back to the island was we were putting him in the Hall of Fame. It wasn't the only reason. I know that, but it was one of the reasons that he come back to the island in the next group that we're doing. But the Triton Hall of Fame is, I think, the biggest thing that we do. We have big ceremonies. We have a Hall of Fame room. We have a Wall of Fame. And all of that is dedicated to our history. As I've said before, if you don't have history, you really don't have much of anything. Right now, we're building a new history. They played sports here starting in 1963. So we have a pretty good history that lasted into about the 1990s, early 2000s. We got a lot of good history that we've just touched the top of the 3. My first class only had 6 in it. I worked 2 years to find 6 people. But after that, the classes have gotten bigger and it's easier to get people. I already know 3 or 4 people that will be in the next class. So we'll keep moving forward. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing what you remember about the university and the sports here. And we will keep this going on for as long as I'm here and hopefully afterwards. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug. And now we will hear from our inductees or their representatives. Starting first, Dr. Antonio C. Yamashita. Antonio Carmelita Yamashita was one of the great leaders of the island of Guam during the early days of the territory. A teacher at the Territorial College of Guam from 1959 to 1969, he was called upon by then Governor Manuel Guerrero to become the president of the college, and he agreed. He led the institution from 1964 as the Territorial College of Guam through its transition to the University of Guam in 1968 and on to 1970, then returned again as president in 1974. As president, he initiated the launch of varsity sports at the College of Guam in 1963. This would eventually lead to a full-fledged program at the university, including football, baseball, basketball, volleyball, and other sports during the 60s and the 70s. Born in 1930 as the middle child of 13 children born to Felicita and Raimundo Yamashita, Dr. Yamashita attended Guam Public Schools and graduated from George Washington High School in 1951. He went on to earn his bachelor's in biology chemistry from Carroll College in Helena, Montana in 1955, his master's in biology from the University of Northern Colorado in 1962, and his Doctor of Education in Science Education from UNC in 1963. Athletics at UOG was just one of his many accomplishments for the island, and we celebrate the foundation he built for the program that we have today. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ryan Areola, representing Dr. Antonio Yamashita.
Good morning. I'm Ryan Areola, and it is an honor to represent my grandma, President Professor Emerita Lorraine Yamashita, my mom, Director Aline Yamashita, my aunt, Dr. Velma Yamashita, and my brother, Eric. We thank you for honoring my granddad, President Emeritus Antonio C. Yamashita. As the narrative goes, Granddad loved realizing the vision of the University of Guam, as the challenge was build it or it would be sold. Granddad believed that a huge component of any successful endeavor is community engagement. He knew that an athletic program would motivate players, students, family, and the community to identify with UOG. He knew that a sense of pride would emanate from competitive sports. He knew that athletics adds a vibrant energy to academia. As an athlete himself, he knew that sports is an essential intelligence. With community engagement, identity, pride, vibrant energy, and integration of athletics is an essential intelligence, Granddad knew the Triton community would root and blossom. I was near 2 years old when we were at Queens Hospital during my granddad's final days. My mom always shares how I would run through the hospital gardens, chasing butterflies and laughing, and how my granddad would smile when he saw me in his room. Granddad is resting in peace now, and we know that he's appreciative of our acknowledgement and leadership. And we are, and dreams do come true, and UOG was one of his. And we thank you. We thank you, Granddad.
Thank you, Mr. Areola. Our next inductee is a well-known figure here at the University of Guam Fieldhouse. Swingley Dismas has been a leader of recreational sports on the UOG campus for almost 20 years, keeping the spirit of sports alive and a campus focus on health and fitness, particularly when the university was without varsity sports. As the recreation supervisor for Triton Athletics in the Fieldhouse, Dismas manages the Triton Fitness Center and runs the intramural sports program, as well as the Triton Club teams. The Triton Club teams have included women's volleyball, men's and women's basketball, which have all played in Triton Athletics leagues, as well as their own Triton teams. Dismas has coached several of these club teams throughout the years. He also orchestrates the sports activities for the popular President's Cup competition, which is during our university's Charter Day in March. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mr. Swingley Dismas.
Good morning, Hafaday, Yahweh, Ali. Again, my name is Julian Smash, and I was born in Palau, raised in Palau and the Marshalls. My mom is a Marshallese and my dad is Palauan. I grew up playing sports and how this became what I do today. I love sports. I am a UOG alumni with a degree in teaching. But I never went to teaching. I kept what I would love to do, and that's how I stayed in the sport. Intramurals started much in preparation. Two of them has passed, Tony Thompson and Joe Santos. They were my mentors, my friends. And what I know today, also what I've learned from them. Like Mr. Palmer said, I kept instruments going when there was no athletic teams. I came in when the last UOT baseball team was in the process of getting out. It was 2000. That was the last baseball team that I saw. They were disbanded during 2000. Well, it was time for intramurals. Field house is the biggest structure on Guam, where there's a lot of students here who want to play sports. But this intramurals, it's like big party in the gym because we've been running multiple sports. A lot of students are coming out. A lot of volunteer staff. Like Jonas is one of them. I also see him on courts all the time. All of that. I would like to thank all the community for being the president, Team Comanche, and my boss, Mr. Farmer. I am honored, humbled to be here to be the class of 2020. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dismas. Our next inductee has been the Triton women's basketball coach at UOG since 2019 and led the team to the championship game during her first season as coach. She also previously played for the UOG women's basketball team in 1989 and 1991. Cecile C. Olandes has more than 30 years of basketball experience in Guam. She's played for national teams, women's masters teams, and various league teams. She's played in 2 Micronesia games on Guam, along with the national women's basketball team, winning gold in 1994 and bronze in 2002. On the Guam women's masters basketball team, she competed internationally both as a player and a coach, winning gold in the 2017 World Masters Games in New Zealand and gold in the 2013 Great Barrier Reef Masters Games in Australia. She's a 2013 UOG graduate magna cum laude, earning a Bachelor's in Fine Arts with a specialization in art. She also has a diploma in tourism from the International Business College of Guam. She graduated from Simon Sanchez High School. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. Cecile C. Olandes.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Price, Mr. Palmer, and the University of Guam for inducting me to the Hall of Fame. I'd also like to thank my coaches, to include my high school coach, Russ Hoffman, Hall of Famers, Hank Parker, and Coach Joe Triton. I'd also like to thank my teammates who encouraged me, motivated me, and inspired me and supported me throughout the years. And also to my parents who actually saw the passion I had for the sport. And so they invested a basketball rim and installed it at the garage. So I wouldn't have to dribble and shoot basketballs late at night at my neighbor's house. I also thank the Lord for the gift He has given me, for the skills to play basketball, for the opportunities to play locally and off island, as well as to coach the young kids. I coach also the middle school kids, as well as the university women's basketball team. So hopefully I'll be able to motivate them and inspire them and to be successful in my on the court as well as in life. What I remember most about playing at the University of Guam in 1999 under the late coach Bob Santos was the type of training that we had. It wasn't just on the court, but it was also outdoors, just like this. Out in nature. Some of the things that we did was hike down to Marble Caves, hike up to Mount Lam Lam, and just with the team, just reflect on what we need to do. We also hike down to celebrate the fact that I had a fractured fibula trained also for the Sheffield Games in London, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate because I had sprained my ankle and fractured my fibula during the exhibition game. Some of the things also that we did for the love of the game was we carried our basketballs everywhere. We carried it to work, to school, and even had to sleep with it for one whole week. The things that we did, we didn't think it was fun at the time, but when we come together and we reminisce, we laugh about it, and it's just fun memories that we have or had. I've made lots of friends, lifelong friendship with a bunch of women, and we have great memories just throughout my basketball career. Also, attending playing for the university has given me an education. It has helped me develop skills, leadership and communication skills. And here I am, 30 years back at the university as a women's coach. It's truly an honor to be an alumni, to give back to our community. And hopefully one day I'll be able to help get these young athletes the skills to be successful as well. Thank you, Mr. Palmer, for giving me that opportunity to be the coach for the women's basketball team. And in spite of the adversity like this pandemic, I hope to help build the athletic program. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Olandez. Our next inductee, Rick Manabusan, was a pitcher as well as first and third baseman and an outfielder for the Tritons from 1973 to 1978. He also played football for the University of Guam from 1973 to 1974. He played for Triton Athletics Hall of Famer Patrick Wolf, who coached the team in the Philippines tour. As one of the two main pitchers for the Tritons, he was selected for the Guam Major League All-Star team. On the team, he pitched 3 innings of hitless ball against the Japanese team. He also played for the MVP Aces in the Guam Major League and on the All-Star Masters basketball team, where he competed for Guam in the All-Star game and won against the best team in Saipan, which was 3 years undefeated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Rick Manabusan.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Congratulations to all the UOG Triton's Athletic Hall of Famers and class of 2020 and 2021. My name is Rick Manabusan, UOG Triton Athletic Hall of Fame inductee class of 2020. I would like to thank UOG Athletic Director Douglas Palmer and his staff for the hard work put into organizing this Hall of Fame induction ceremony. This indeed is a very special day. Special thank you to UOG Baseball Hall of Famer Pat Wolf for nominating me to the class of 2020 Baseball Hall of Fame. My first 5 years as a pioneer pitcher for UOG Triton Guam Major League Baseball team, all the games were played at Basel Stadium with termite-infested bleachers and telephone poles as an improvised outfield fence. The stadium was later upgraded to a completely plywood fence baseball field. Then finally to a state-of-the-art concrete fence-in stadium with comfortable seating for its fans. Yes, I played through it all. In 1975, as a pitcher, Triton pitcher, I was selected All-Star to represent Guam Major League Baseball team to play against one of Japan's great teams. Again, I pitched 3 hitless innings for that particular game. Playing for UOG Tritons, I had the opportunity to play with 2 Hall of Famers, Dave Sims and Pat Wolf, and with 2 class of 2021 Hall of Fame inductees, UL Saywas, we call them Yush, and Vic Aker. I also competed with Hall of Fame inductee class of 2020, Richard Martinez. Yes, Richard, you are known as the Son of Slam, but I can safely say I pitched many times against you, and I've never fallen victim to your bat. Oh yeah. In my last few years as a the Guam Major League player, I played with another Hall of Famer, Dave Nielsen. In addition, I played 2 years for UOG Triton football team, 1973 and 1974. There again, I had the opportunity to play with two Hall of Famers, the late Harper Bone and Chris Mesa, and UOG Hall of Fame class of 2021 inductee Beth Diaz. In closing, I am blessed and fortunate to be inducted into the UOG Triton Athletic Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2020 and to play alongside with these great Hall of Fame athletes. Thank you so much. Be safe. Have a great day and go Tritons.
One of the most beautiful things about athletics and sports is that it's never too late to talk trash. Our next inductee, Richard, son of Slam Martinez, was the best power hitter on the island back in the 1980s. He was a catcher for the University of Guam baseball team and anchored several other teams in the Guam Major League. Martinez is most known in UOG athletics history for playing in the Guam Major League Finals his senior year against the AK Islanders. Teams were tied 3-3 in the series, and in the seventh and final game of the championship, with bases loaded and 2 outs at the top of the ninth, UOG trailed 2-1 and was down to their final out. The son of Slam earned his nickname that night as he hit a grand slam home run in front of the standing room only crowd at Paseo Stadium that led the Tritons to the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Richard Martinez.
Less than half a day. My name is Richard Martinez. Good morning. And I would like, first of all, to thank Doug for his support and his patience in trying to locate the athletes that are part of the induction. I'm here. I got it told 2 days ago, and I'm here. So, first of all, I'm honored to be here. I started school. I was actually here from 79 to 1982. That was the Rosa Carter's days as a listener. I want to welcome my son Ryan. He's a very good boy there. I'm so happy to see him. Anyway, I would like to thank those that nominated me as inductee. Also those that were part of the selection. I really appreciate it, and what more can I say other than the fact that I actually devoted most of my life to baseball. Played baseball for 48 years. The knees are hurting, the back's hurting, so it's cool to be done. Played all those years. Now, just a brief, maybe short my life in baseball, kind of like during my life around actually speaking. It was 1993, and how I was dubbed the name Son of Slam. So it was Game 7 against the powerhouse AK Islanders. You've got John Farr, the Rokia Panthers team, a bunch of awesome players. I was kind of like 0 for 5 in that last game. This is Game 7. It was a 7-game series. Prior to that game, there were 2 grand smashes in that series. One from Willie Brennan. There was also a player for UOG, if I'm not mistaken. And I also had one, and that was Game 5. So here we were down 3-1, and we ended up matching up with the powerhouse. And we ended up winning Game 7. So top of the 10th, I was 0 for 4 already. And AK is such a great team, and every time I reach that circle, when I'm in a batting circle, I can guarantee that I'm focused on one thing, and that's pray. I always pray before I go up and bat. Sometimes it's answered, sometimes it's not. Well, in that moment, it was answered. Full bases. Peter Bautista, who was a football player for UOG at the time also, was intentionally walking into me because already I struck up once, popped up the other times. Voice Thomas was considered one of the best pitchers. Ball went out. It was a grand slam. It was the second grand slam in the series for me. And that's how I was Dr. Lee Son of Slam. But prior to that, my tenure as a student, I was given the privilege to try out and make the baseball team in 1979 under the tutelage of Patrick Wolf. In 1980, I just took over the University of Washington. My first home run of my career was a grand slam. So that's the third grand slam. And then in 1986, I also had another grand slam. Not too much about it, but that's how I got it. Thank you, everybody, for giving that confidence to play over. I'd like to thank Mary Joseph, Ryan Swan, for sacrifices that you can't do. So I worked hard to my last game, by the way, was 2 months ago, at the age of 62. I went up to bat 3 times. I won base. Good for the year. Really done. Thank you, everybody. Again, Doug, thank you for your patience and your support. Thank you.
I'll be reading the bios of our next 2 inductees. Art Merlin, a top athlete for the George Washington